Watch Who?
Hello, and welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Yep, watching for the very first time.
Very first time. I've moved it up a bit.
We are still, yeah.
Change key.
We've still got that intro going on. How's everything going? I know I've never asked you that before. I'm so sorry. I have never.
Fine, how are you?
We've never said this before. I thought I'd give it a try, a little different.
Well, I've got.
Oh, let's just start with this now. Okay.
Yeah, so basically,
Okay.
I've had like really bad headaches, and I think I'm like in that post-Christmas bad sleeping pattern where everyone gets. I'm putting it down to sugar a little bit, but I had a really bad headache and stuff. Anyway, there was a night where I couldn't sleep, and I went on our Twitter, and I mean, I have no fucking clue, like, what is going on, like, generally within the Doctor Who fan.
Twitter.
Yes, I was on our, because we obviously follow Doctor Who, so it's like mine isn't, but our account is obviously all Doctor Who stuff. I have no idea what's going on, like, in the world, really.
So this is a new experience, the online fan experience.
Yeah, so...
Let's just talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, so I went on, and I'm just really confused. So maybe someone can, like, put this in a really clear thing for me. So because basically I went on and hashtag ban the NMDs was trending. Right? So then I looked into that, and it's ban the not my doctors. Now that I understand, because I know enough to know that some people don't like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
Yeah, I've gathered that as well. I'm not 100% up with all the kids on this stuff.
Because I had to ask you about my...
I explained a little bit of what I knew. I don't really know that much.
So that, as a hashtag, made sense. And then there's an account called Nut My Doctor, right?
Yeah.
And which we didn't follow any of these. It's literally because I followed what was the trending hashtag, which was ban the NMDs. So I was looking at all that, basically. So people were saying, like, terrible stuff, like there was one person that said I'm
sorry, I have no idea what you're going to say. I'm like...
this is terrible. There was one person who said that
sorry, right.
Is it because I'm talking about it and you're like it's too much for you? What I'm going to say is really horrible.
Okay.
People have said, like, death threats and stuff.
I'm sorry, I can't. Okay. It's not funny, I don't know. Right. Right.
People have sent, like, death threats and stuff.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm not laughing at that. It's just when you're looking at me saying that. Right.
Do we need to come back to all this?
No, carry on.
We can't. I'm going to say terrible things. Or maybe we just don't say terrible things. Maybe we
just you need to tell the story. So...
Oh, God, I can't remember. I'm just trying to say, after I say this thing, I don't know what I say anymore. Okay.
Okay, I'm fine. It's fine.
One person had... Like, people have had death threats and stuff. Like, one person said about...
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. Sorry, we've just had about 10 minutes of us trying to get through this section, and we're laughing, but we've decided to carry on.
We just carry on. It's not funny.
No.
Like, we both acknowledge it's not. You know how something, like, isn't... I think it's because... Sorry, it's because you were laughing at how much I've learned and how much research.
Yeah.
And that was making you laugh, but now the whole scenario, like this whole thing. But so this is not funny. But if I laugh, we're
sorry. We've just had 10 minutes of laughing.
Okay. So people have had death threats. One person had their face like superimposed.
I was trying to hold it in. I couldn't. Oh, I'm trying to be serious.
Superimposed onto porn and stuff. Serious. Oh my God, God, there's nothing funny about it. We can't. We just have to remove this. We're not going to talk about any of the bad things.
Keep going. We can't go back. Keep going. So basically, what you're trying to say, is, people have been really horrible to each other on Twitter.
Yes, people have said really horrible things on Twitter, like nasty, horrible things. And so there's this account called Nut My Doctor, Nut, N-U-T, and they were like highlighting bad things and telling like, oh, get this account reported, they say this stuff, right? And there was an account that they'd got banned like 5 times, which was called Vance. And then, like, I learned that it was this Tom Vance and he kept setting up accounts, right? But what I didn't get is the Nut My Doctor,
Right.
account was the same face as this Tom Vance. So, and like, because he'd do videos and things. So I'm really confused. Like, and this Tom Vance, from what I understood, but like, because all the accounts get deleted, so you don't know, seems to say really bad things. So has someone set up an account saying really nasty, horrible things, and then another account being like, stop the people saying the nasty, horrible things, and banning themselves? I'm really confused. So...
Well, yeah, Twitter is a confusing place to be sometimes.
I'm very confused.
I don't know. As I say,
it came for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very surprised you got into all of this.
Because I came to you like, Mark, what is this? What's going on? And you can't help me.
I can't. I follow people that I would...
That are nice.
That are nice. And that, yeah.
Don't follow the hashtags. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what I don't.
Do what I did,
So
and don't go down a hashtag trail.
I only follow and talk to nice people, so I don't know any of this. So I'm sorry I can't help you with that.
No.
But if anybody can,
in like just
a
one
very basic,
concise tweet.
just one tweet, nothing weird. Please let
We
Sarah
don't want to
know.
open the rabbit hole.
It would just be nice to know what's going on. Yeah.
For my own sanity, because I'm so confused. Because also these accounts get shut down and the new ones appear, and I'm like, but so as an outsider watching all this, like at the end of the day, this is a TV show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it's the same for other fandoms as well.
Oh, completely.
Not just Doctor Who.
But like the hate is, I can't think of many other fandoms, if any, to the same level that it's just a woman playing this part instead of a man.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand people not liking the scripts or not, but like to not like because of, I just don't understand. I'm so confused. That's all I need to know.
That's an unexpected beginning to the podcast.
So that was like that was my week in a way.
Right.
Well, part of my week.
Okay.
Other things happened, didn't they, Mark?
Well, before we do that, I forgot something at the beginning. I forgot to say. So you're gonna need this. Take this goldfish bowl.
Oh, fucking hell.
And this grey onesie. We are going to the moon today for the Moonbase. I totally forgot. So we're just gonna do a little moonwalk across into the base. It's fine. There's oxygen. The tea tray is on the wall. We're fine. So we're just going to go through into and set up a second. We totally forgot to do that, didn't we?
Of course we did, yeah.
Okay, so here we
Mark's
go.
new thing.
Right, here we go.
2021
Cool, so here we are.
here.
We're set up on the moon. I'd rather be on the moon right now than on Earth.
There's a lot going on Earth
There's a lot going on Earth, so we're having a nice quiet time up on the moon.
Yeah, because Earth's very confusing.
Yeah, we've got some coffee. Do you need help with your spacesuit? A second. I'm just going to unzip mine. There we go. Well, we can't just sit here in our... Anyway, right. So we are set up on the moon, everyone, for the Moonbase. There we are. I just needed to do that. So now we're settled.
We haven't finished our week.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh.
I only...
Sorry. We start... Yeah, okay. It's the Gravitron. It's messing with me. Right. Well, the week. So the only other story we were going to share... so the other week, I was just checking my bank balance, which I don't do very often, actually, and I feel like I should. Just looking at the transactions. I only logged in to see if I've been paid. And I was looking through, and I was like, there's a lot of Uber. There's a lot of Uber stuff here. And we get Uber Eats, not sponsored, whenever we, watch stuff, a lot of the time. So, yeah, there's going to be a few Uber things on my account, but there was a lot. And it was Uber, it was something else, Uber Travel or something. I was like, hang on, I do not take an Uber. What are all these things doing on here? And then I thought, I know someone that uses Uber all the time. So I messaged Sarah and I was like,
So you missed one bit. About 2 weeks prior, you were at mine.
So this is the Highlanders incident. So we were watching the Highlanders, and I came to yours, and obviously we get a takeaway usually.
Yeah. We got curry. And
then,
it was distinctly average, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't a great curry, actually. And usually, sometimes what happens is Sarah will be like, let's get Uber. And I'll be like, podcast expenses, just here's my bank. I just hand Sarah my bank card a lot of the time.
But I did it on Uber Eats.
And yeah, you did it on Uber Eats, used my card, fine. But then somehow it got onto your Uber taxi thing.
Like, how weird is that?
Yeah,
anyway, Mark messaged me like,
so I was like,
did you take my card off?
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah, I think my card details are still on your phone.
And I was like, oh no, I'm thinking just Uber Eats.
Yeah. So unknowingly, this had been coming off my bank card.
The cat had to go to the vet a few times, so I got a taxi. Yeah, it's so smart.
It was only because I hadn't been paid that I noticed. Otherwise, if I'd been paid, I wouldn't have noticed.
That would have gone on for a long time.
It would have gone on and on.
Yeah. Anyway, I've changed it now. I only can pay by Apple Pay, so I have to actually use my own thumb to do it. And that is set up to my account. That's a good way of doing it, actually.
Yeah.
That is set up to my account.
There we go.
So I saw a lot of money off Mark accidentally. I paid him back straight away.
Yeah, you gave it back. Yeah. You probably want it on Doctor Who stuff anyway. So it's a circle of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so here we are, back on the moon now. Away from that, there's no Uber delivery to the moon yet.
Not yet.
So we're halfway through season 4, and actually, I was going to say, how are you going with season 4?
Are we halfway through?
There's only 3 stories left after this, so we're more than halfway, actually.
Wow. Do you know what? I still don't really feel like I know the Doctor. You saying that, I cannot believe we're halfway through.
Well, we started with the smugglers, so that was the beginning of this season. That was a while back.
That was only 2 stories, wasn't it?
Smugglers, 10th Planet,
and
Power of the Daleks, Highlanders, Underwater Menace, and then we're here.
Gosh. It doesn't feel like he's been here that long, or that I really know him yet.
It's all these sort of missing episodes, though, isn't it? That doesn't really help.
It's becoming more like the norm to see him there. I don't miss the old Doctor, but I did like the old Doctor.
Okay.
I did like William Hartnell.
Yeah.
But he wasn't doing anything by the end, so there wasn't much to miss.
Well, we record quite a few weeks in advance, so I was just going to say now, if anybody has any Doskers nominations coming up for season 4, let us know.
Oh, yeah,
because we would be, by the time you hear this, we will be getting to the Doskers time already.
I can't believe that. By the time this comes out, my whole Tom Vance thing's going to be like...
a few weeks. So we are recording at the beginning of January. This is like going to be the 3rd week of January by the time it comes out.
Yeah, that's going to be such old news.
So anything could have happened there. Anything could have happened. And also, COVID update, anything could have happened.
Yeah.
So let's get on to today's story then, the Moonbase. So this is 4 episodes. 2 are missing. 2 are animated.
Yes. Sorry, I don't know why that was so difficult for me. And I was like, yes, it was. The first one and the 3rd one.
And you watched the first 3 on Britbox on your own.
I did. Well, Britbox sent me through, because I unsubscribed, and they were like, come back. So I got 50% off for 3 months, which is quite handy because, lockdown.
Yeah, well, just getting ready for... Yeah, I've actually stopped my subscription now.
You might get off it.
Yeah.
Hashtag come back.
So, you watched 3, and then we've just watched the last episode. Well, I think we should just go straight into it and just go into the story as we normally try to do. So I've got quite a few notes here.
Oh.
Because we haven't watched it together as well, most of it, so I'll be interested to see what you think.
No, we only watched the last one.
So, episode 1, so we left at the Underwater Menace... Hang on, how did it finish, the Underwater Menace? Oh, yeah, that was it. The Doctor was trying to control the TARDIS, and they all went...
Yeah, Jamie said, I feel so safe in here.
Yeah, and then suddenly the TARDIS went off course and everything.
Yeah.
So we start back there, animated episode 1, and just to say, the animation is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think this is the best animation so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. To the point, I was only going to watch 2, and I ended up watching the 3rd one because it just sort of flew through.
I think it's the same people that did... Reign of Terror. It's got a little bit of a Reign of Terror, but more polished.
Yeah.
They actually really do look like... Well, Ben looks like Ben. Is basically the waiter. Because he didn't really empower the Daleks, but he looks much better here, I think. They land, and Ben and Polly, I've written, they want to explore straight away. They're like, let's go, let's have a look outside.
They're very bossy about it. They're very
that's what I thought.
They're like, right, well, come on, off we go. And the Doctor's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean,
And
Polly's
she's like, oh, come on.
Polly's still in her shell suit.
She does a classic, like, you know, Polly, like, I want my own way. Oh, come on. Like,
Yeah, but Ben's like that as well, so I was very surprised. And the doctors, and they all get into their space suits.
Where do you think you're going? Well, you're not going to tell us it's no shore leave.
Oh, please, Doctor. The TARDIS isn't out of control or anything, is it?
No. It was just a bumpy landing, that's all. Yeah? Well, if you must go ashore, only half an hour. Right. You can't go ashore like that.
he's like reminding them there is no gravity out there. You need spacesuits
they were very
with
much
oxygen.
That's the thing. Surely they're going to know that. I know they're comfortable travelling for a bit, but
Although they've only done one in the future, two.
Well, 10th Planet, Power of the Daleks.
10th Planet was all inside though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
It was
most
on
of
Earth.
Yeah. Well, this.
It was Earth in the future, so
Yeah. So they've been on Vulcan and Atlantis, I suppose. Yeah, they haven't really
But
been
Atlantis
out
again
in
was
space.
technically Earth.
Yeah, they've never not had oxygen before.
Yeah.
And Jamie is settling in, and I like his line. I'm going to try and do a Scottish accent. This is probably not going to go. And so he's like, maybe we'll meet the man in the moon. No.
That's gotta stay.
I can't do it. I can't do a Scottish accent. Maybe we'll meet the man in the moon. No, it just sounds like Geordie.
I'm trying to think.
Or
Maybe we'll meet the man in the moon. that's
Anyway,
nothing.
so Jamie
God, I'm
is
gonna have to think
obviously
about
being not Katerina-like, but it's something that she would say. Wouldn't she be like, "Oh, we're here," and he doesn't really understand at this, as
Yeah. He says something, doesn't he?
It's
like,
not annoying that he doesn't know, but it fits with his character.
but he's still so new to it. This is his second story. This is more what I expected Ben and Polly to be like.
Oh, it's the moon. What's happening? Can we go out there? What can we?
Just after an episode, Ben and Polly are so like, yeah, space, time travel. We know it. We got it. And
They're showing off a little bit to Jamie, probably.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like Jamie's actually, because there was a few things we said like, how's Jamie completely okay with that? Like, there's a few little things. He doesn't question things. But to still have that, Ian and Barbara had it, to still have that
wonder and
like
they're very much, this is the usual, this is it, straight away.
Yeah, within an episode they were like, yeah, this is other than the fact that they want to get home, but they just accept, oh yeah, we just fly around, we go in the future, we do all this, it does all that. Even Ian and Barbara were very like still of wonder.
And the Doctor's not that bothered. I mean, he's proving that he can fly the TARDIS.
Yes,
but he's not.
But the Doctor doesn't need to be. The Doctor is the Doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they go out onto the planet. We see this animated sequence of them flying. And then Jamie, I was trying to work out what happened because Jamie jumps a bit too high and gets knocked out. But then they look over and Ben and Polly are like, oh, look, there's Jamie. They're not like, there's Jamie, he's unconscious on the floor. They're like, oh, there's Jamie just over there. He's all right. Like, there's no... And then he gets picked up and they go into the base.
Oh, I can see Jamie. There he is. Hey, there's somebody coming out. Come on, let's go.
And that's all very quick. There's no alarm. They just wanted to show a space sequence, I think, and just to get on as soon as possible. And then we've got an International Space Station. It's very much the 10th Planet 2, or a remake of the 10th Planet in a way.
It is. But it's so much bigger and cooler.
It's like a better version of the 10th Planet.
And the 10th Planet one was great. This is really good. Like, actually, just like the set looks great.
The Gravitron thing and stuff.
The first episode is animated, so it's not until like the second.
But even the way it's animated. Yeah. At least they've got those 2 episodes to match the animation with.
But it's really easy, I think, when you're watching animated, because you can do more. Like the Daleks one, where there's like 200 Daleks in a room.
Yeah, and
it's obviously not
like
was
when
on
the
film.
TARDIS land. I really like that shot where you see the moon through the scanner, and then you zoom in through the scanner, and then the TARDIS lands, and it's all. Yeah, there's a little bit of art. It matches up with the existing episodes. They can be a little bit more artistic with it.
Yeah,
they've got the balance just right for this.
They do, yeah, because it felt part of it, and it felt still.
And you can tell it's an international space station because the French guy has got a little French scarf on.
They've all got their countries on, yeah.
Flags and numbers.
Yeah.
And we all know what country they're from. It's all very international. I tried to write down some of the names of the people on the base. There's Neil. There's Neil, Charlie, Bob, I thought he was called Renoir, the French guy, but he's not. He's called Benoit. No, Bernard. No,
Benoit?
Benoit.
Benoit.
Benoit. I
Benoit.
thought it was Renoir, like the painter. Renoir.
That would, yeah.
I also noticed, I don't know if you did, with the machines and everything, there's the War Machines, it's the computer noise.
Is it?
Using the sound effect again, there's a lot of War Machines noise,
Yeah.
Wotan's noise. And then we go straight into this infection, because the guy sitting there in the...
It
with his
felt
shower
very
cap,
weird, didn't it?
and he goes straight into this.
I still find watching infections on TV
I knew you were going to
weird.
say that. When I watched that, I was like, I bet you're thinking about COVID when you see this.
Yeah. I just still...
We're not even safe on the moon. It's fine. We've disinfected here. We've done that. I've got a certificate. I've done COVID training. It's fine. We're fine on the moon. I got a certificate in September. I've done it.
We've both isolated beforehand, so we're fine.
We're fine.
We're in our bubble. But I just still find it weird watching anything like that on TV because it doesn't feel spacey. It almost feels now.
Yeah.
And there's no escaping that.
Because they talk about later on about quarantining the place and things like that.
And where did it come from? What was the source? Like,
and they're trying
on
to
the
find
unknown
out.
symptom.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally like...
It's lucky Dodo didn't land here. We'd have double the trouble, wouldn't we? There's already an infection and she brings another one.
I was going to say, with her sex thing.
That's a triple infection, isn't it?
Dodo.
You've got the Moonbase, you've got Dodo's cold, and she's bringing STDs everywhere.
Oh, poor Dodo.
Anyway, let's not go back into that.
You still need to read that book for me.
Yeah.
I'm not touching it, but you can.
Oh, Dodo, she's a never-ending source of fun. I can talk about Dodo forever. Anyway, back to Renoir and gang.
Yeah.
Hobson is the controller guy in charge. If you're matching this with the 10th Planet, I'd rather have someone like him who's quite level-headed rather than that American commander. Like, you don't get... there's not any conflict. The Doctor and everyone, they're accepted quite quickly, so we don't have to go through... That's what you don't like when companions are like, what's going on, and the new... I don't like it when they're like, oh, you're a prisoner, you're a spy, we don't trust you. I like it when they land and they get settled in quickly. I like that.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's almost like... Because it is so soon after the 10th Planet. It's almost like they've gone, what didn't work, let's do an improved version.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it is, apart from the fact that now they're on the moon instead of at the North or South Pole, whichever way around it was.
Well, yeah, or they've just been like, quick, we need a script, the Cybermen were a hit, let's bring them back, what can they do? Same thing.
Well, we haven't even you've mentioned, I was trying to avoid it, but you went there, you've said them, the Cybermen come.
Yeah, and then the Cybermen, we see the Cybermen's hand in part 1. It's quite good that the Cybermen are left... Not really in part 1 and part 2. They're still in the background or a shadow, aren't they?
They're in part 2.
Because you see the Cybermen, I've put balls on hand. So in their joints, I don't know if you noticed, they've used those... Did you have those balls in primary school? I had those balls in primary school.
Did
the
you
ones,
now?
the ones with the holes in. The little ones with the holes in.
You had those
They're used
balls,
in PE.
Sort of, yeah. But
I think they're used for kids. Like, they're plastic. Instead of tennis balls, they're like those plastic ones. Or they're like those things. I never had one, but I probably wanted one. You know the things what you put around your leg and you have to jump? And it's got a ball on the end.
No.
like a skipping thing that you put around your ankle, right?
Right.
It's like, imagine you put it around your ankle, you clip it around your ankle.
Yeah.
And it's like a plastic or a string thing with a ball on the end.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. I had one of those.
Swing.
I had one of those.
I think those are the kind of balls at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of, anyway. And we find out the Gravitron controls the weather, which I thought was really interesting. My mind went off into thinking about the weather on Earth because they say they can control hurricanes and stuff. So in my mind, they were like, there's a hurricane on Earth, right, which is that light on the screen.
Yeah.
And then they press their things with the shower cap in that room, and then they can control where the hurricane goes so it can avoid cities and stuff. That's my interpretation of it. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. Someone needs to actually do that.
Tell them, get them on it.
I think that's the idea anyway, so that's why I wrote that down. Should I carry on?
Yeah, go for it. You're doing great,
Okay,
Mark. I'm just
sorry.
enjoying contributing. You're on it.
Well, let's go to Clothes Watch a minute. Well, first off, I don't like Ben's shirt.
No,
I'm
you
not
were
a fan
very...
of that stripy shirt. I'm sorry, it's a failure, Ben.
I quite liked it.
No.
Not for you.
No, not as bad as the V-neck and the turtleneck thing.
I hate a
No, I
V-neck
don't know.
and
It
turtleneck,
just
but...
no. Well, Jamie's knocked out. He's sort of written out for most of the story. I think they hadn't really
Got him in yet.
got ready for Jamie in the story. I don't think they knew he was going to be on board.
It must have been like a week after the Cybermen came out that they decided to write this one.
Yeah, so they've not got a third companion ready. So Jamie's knocked out and he sees the Phantom Piper.
It's you! The Phantom Piper!
Okay, why don't we both say it's the Phantom Piper in our Scottish accent, and then people can let us know who did the best one.
How did we?
Okay?
Okay. It's the Phantom Piper. That's terrible.
It's the Phantom Piper!
Hang on.
Anyway, let's just never try a Scottish accent
Never
We
again.
didn't even do this in the Highlanders.
No.
No, anyway. So then Polly ends up being a bit of a nurse to Jamie, and Ben calls her a nurse.
I'm over the sexism of the 60s. I've just accepted it.
Okay.
I've accepted that that's just how we roll now.
Well, Polly screams when she sees the Cyberman. She gets
does a
two
big
screams
scream.
in this.
She does, yeah.
And they're very quickly just on board. They settle in.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Polly seeing the Cybermen.
Yeah.
Panto, it's behind you! That's what it reminds me of. It's like, okay, let's all go. Everyone leaves the room apart from Polly. Like Cyberman. Ah!
Actually, throughout this whole thing, people have very selective eyesight, depending on if they need to see something in the room or not.
Yeah.
Like, especially just going forward a bit when the Cyberman is underneath hiding in the bed, they're like... It's a good moment, because then the doctor's like, did you check in here? We've checked everywhere, we can't find it. Did you check in the room that we're in? Which is a really good, like, chilling moment. But then when there's a massive Cyberman with just a blanket, it's like, you're going to see that.
Oh, yeah, of course you are. Or like the guy, again, like fourth one, but when he wandered in from the hospital and he knocked a guy out and then put on his rubber hat.
Yeah.
Like...
And nobody notices him walking around
It's
or anything. Yeah,
behind
it's very...
you.
Yeah, that's a slight criticism of this. It's because it's a good story overall.
Yeah.
So Ben goes off to the food store. Great. Well, he does.
Sorry, no, there's a place called the food store next to my
Ben goes to the food store on the Moonbase.
near my house, is somewhere called
we go.
the food store. So,
Got Ben and food. And he sees there's like holes in all the sugar and everything. And you're like, oh, is it rats? And there's a massive hole which the Cybermen have been getting through.
Again, it's behind you.
And then, Jamie sees the Cybermen, I think, at the end of part 1. And Jamie sees his first alien.
Yeah.
And obviously collapses straight away. Oh, and then when the Cybermen are taking the people out of the beds, I mean, they're supposed to be these, like, strong... Like, they do better than the 10th Planet Cybermen, but they're really struggling. He takes this guy under his arm.
I didn't think it was too bad.
It's just like, you can see them struggling in the suit and trying to hold this man.
I'd have done it more like cradled across two arms. Like, legs like that to show strength.
I think they're trying to, but I think they're trying to show strength, like, I can pick this man up with one arm, just about.
And like stuck him under my arm a bit, and Yeah,
and then that's when we get Polly's scream number 2 when she brings in the coffee. She recognises them as Cybermen.
She does, of course.
So let's just go into Polly a minute now, because last episode you weren't happy. Well, the last few episodes you haven't been happy with Polly.
No.
And I think I edited out quite a lot of Polly hate from last episode because there was quite a lot. Or / Annika Wills, but let's just talk about Polly. What? Because
she's not too bad in this overall. The trouble is, I just don't like her character. She just comes across as very bossy, and I just think it's just such a shame for this character. It's just a shame. It's a shame for the characters. It's a shame for women. It's almost like, though, I would have said, like, the writers did a sort of, independent woman of the time, but they didn't, because there's lots of, like, sexism moments in there. It's like she's trying to... No, I think it's just the actress. Like, well,
Polly in this, the character of Polly, not Annika Wills, I thought she did better than the last few.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I agree. In the Highlanders, not great towards Kirsty.
No, horrible.
Justice for Kirsty. Poor Kirsty.
She gets it bad.
She's a wench in Scotland and she gets bullied by Polly. Underwater Menace, a little bit better.
Oh, well,
But
yeah,
in
she's had
this,
some moments.
I thought she was all right in this.
She was all right in this. Underwater Menace, for me, was the Olympics moment.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But she hasn't got that moment here. She's actually quite good at solving the problem with Ben.
Yeah. But it's the fact that she shares and, like, it's not this expectation of, like, I know.
No, it's not.
Like,
no.
so it's nice.
Yeah.
Like, it's not too bad.
Okay.
But also, and I guess it is just, maybe it is something I haven't got over. She is just like, she screams because, of course, she, you know, seen the Cybermen, and she's like, I think it's the Cybermen, you know, like.
The scream was a bit over the top.
It's just
because
all a bit
actually
over
she's
the
met
top.
the Cybermen, and the first time she met them, she didn't scream, and she had a good conversation with that one. So if we're going by her character at the beginning, let's go out and explore, this is the usual every day for us, then why do you need to go right back to a screamy moment for her?
It's just,
she could have been like, it's the Cybermen, they're back.
I just find it very odd. I just don't like Polly.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there. We won't go too much more into that for the moment.
No.
The Doctor, what did you think of his sort of comedy moment? So he's trying to work out what this infection, he's doing his COVID research, trying to get the vaccine sorted.
Yeah.
And he is, which is great, you've got this little science set up, which is what basically the Doctor did in the Ark. You know, his bit of science and everything, test tubes and all of that. But then, when he's trying to get samples and everyone, he's going around all the scientists and he's got his, like, I don't know, scissors or whatever, and he's taking it, and he takes that guy's boot, and the guy's there and he's undoing the laces, and then the guy walks away, not realising that he's left his boot behind, and he's getting a tray and he's getting the boot and the cap and everything. I thought that's a bit over the top. It's a bit silly, I thought. Because you're not going to do that. You're not going to be like, he's crawling around trying to do...
I think a lot of this episode is very silly. I think it's very young.
But then you balance it with those moments with the Doctor, actually. He's like, there are things in the universe that needs to be fought, and he stands up and he's got that moral moment where he does that little speech saying, we've got to stop them.
Yeah, but you could have that with 7-year-olds as well. It's so panto-y, I think. Look, I actually really enjoyed this. Like I watched 1, 2, and 3, and we were only supposed to watch 1 and 2, so I did really enjoy it. But it was quite juvenile, simple.
Oh, yeah, it's quite a simple setup and story, yeah.
Yeah, and I think things like that, it's almost like they've gone really for the younger kids here.
A little bit, yeah. Well, I suppose the Cybermen, it's the new monster for the kids, because we haven't seen the Daleks. Well, we have seen the Daleks recently, but this is the new thing they're trying to, and you've got the Cybermen improved. We haven't talked about their new look.
No, their new look.
The new look, which is much better look.
Oh, yeah.
They electrocute Polly and Jamie. You see the crackle of energy.
There's some great effects in it. Like, it's a really strong story. But I do think it's very childlike. Actually, the very last episode felt quite long, but a lot happened.
Yeah, it did seem, because we're just talking through in episode 2, we find out that it's in the sugar, because Polly's got to make the coffee for everyone, and they work that out. It's in the sugar. That's quite clever.
Yeah.
And then when episode 3 starts, that's when we see more of the Cybermen, and they start to talk, and they've got these different voices.
Yeah.
And we both had trouble actually working out what they're saying.
Britbox does not do subtitles. I tried to subtitle a Cyberman because I had no idea what he was talking about.
You get a lot of the story explanation through what the Cybermen are saying.
Operational system 2 now complete. Operational system 2 now complete.
I find them more difficult than the 10th Planet Cybermen.
Oh, yeah. The 10th Man Cybermen were like, they just talked funny. It wasn't like, it annoyed you, I know. But I just find it quite funny. Like, and we are talking and like this, and it's up here. Like, they were just funny. These, I said to you, so in Italian, when you learn Italian, you Italian's a really easy language to speak. I did opera, so because you say everything.
Right.
So I'm trying to think of cappuccino.
All right, okay.
Cappuccino. You know, so you say or bruschetta. You say everything.
What do you mean?
You like
Like it's
so
all
you
in
say
one go?
every you say
single-
every vowel and
I
everything.
see, okay.
So it wouldn't be
Cappuccino.
cappuccino.
Cappuccino rather than cappuccino. Cappuccino.
I can't think of a. I'm trying to think of a
Calzone. I can only think of food.
lasagna.
Pasta.
Lasagna.
Lasagna.
So we say, I think, lasagna. I can't think of a word. There's some really good words. I'm trying to think but
I can only think of food. Is there a cheese? There's Italian cheese.
Parmigiano.
Parmigiano.
Yeah. So parmesan.
Yeah.
We say, and you get the other one, isn't it? Parmigiano. We probably say Parmigiano because we put the I and the A as one.
Okay,
that's a
right.
good. Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I don't even know if I have seen it, but in Italian, if you were to read it, it'd be Parmigiano. You say everything.
Parmigiano, right?
As an example,
Okay.
I don't even know if that's like the right
Right.
word. I mean, that's the closest I can think of. I don't think that's right at all. But this felt a bit like that. That he said everything. So
They don't stop. Yeah, it just goes through. So it's like we'll go. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think but he would say it like it was in Italian. And like everything was almost like
Italian Cybermen, basically.
yeah. That's the thing that
Yeah, so
whenever I
it's
heard it, it was
so
like I was
he's
listening
like,
to someone speaking Italian.
We will invade the base and we will take over from you.
But it was
That was quite
we
good.
will take over the base and we will take over you. Like
We will take over the base and we will take over you.
but
yeah,
it's like everything.
yeah.
like,
Rather than
Base.
because otherwise you go into sort of your monoid or your sensorite where
Yeah.
it's we will take over the
Yeah.
base and take over you. I don't know what's
Base.
worse actually.
So
We will
that base is a good word because we would say we will take over the base, but they didn't be we will take over the base and
Yes, that's it.
like everything
will
was
take over the base.
that is it was like base and take over
Yes,
you.
that's what I see what you mean.
Do you
yeah.
know-
Yeah.
It's really-
will
I
take
can't
over the
explain it
base,
more than that.
And we will take over you.
And we will take over you.
There's
Like
so many
everything,
accents in today's
you
episode.
were like everything had like extra.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is, and it's very
To the
annoying.
point
and
where you can't because you don't speak like that. So you almost like you're trying to work out what the word is. As I said, it's almost like someone who is Italian was reading the English because actually
Yeah.
that is something that like people who are learning who have English as a second language. That's something that they do. It's that sort of like overemphasis on thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, me chiamo, blah, 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 blah. You know, your emphasis goes in different places in other languages. And it's almost like that, that it's really hard. Plus, it's just this monotone shit.
Yes. Yeah.
It was
with
really
the electronic
hard.
stuff on top.
Yeah.
Makes it even worse.
I
yeah.
just felt like it was someone Italian speaking it because they said everything.
So basically, what we find out then is that, well, one, they're converting these people on the base. They've infected the sugar for some reason.
Kids, keep away from sugar.
Well, actually, no, I thought as well. You know, when they find out it's the sugar, because it's the people that have sugar in their coffee that are the ones
Yeah.
that get infected. I don't have sugar in my tea or coffee,
You'll
so
be
I'll be
fine.
all right. And you don't drink tea and coffee, so you'd be all right.
Fine.
So we're fine on that. That's why we're the only ones on this base right now. Because none of us have sugar.
No.
So there we go.
Well, we're doing other things though.
yeah. But not in our drinks.
Not in our drinks.
Thanks, Polly, but not having any. And they want to change the weather. Want to use this gravitron and change the weather, probably to like flood the Earth or do something like that.
Yeah.
Episode 3, Jamie's feeling better, so he joins the plot. And that's when we get Polly's nail polish. Well, Ben and Polly sort of put their heads together, and I said it's encouraging kids to experiment with solvents, basically. It's what it is, because they're like, let's use all these solvents and mix them all together. Surely kids watching are going to be like, yeah, let's mix all these chemicals
Like-
together and make a Polly cocktail.
They are there's so many things. All I was thinking of was surely things would like fizz. Like I think of like bicarbonate and white cider vinegar.
Yeah.
When you add that and it fizzes, you know. Surely things like that would happen if you mix all this stuff together. But also, where has she got this? We're not talking like nail polish remover. Like she's saying, oh yeah, we've got the acetone, we've got the like. She's like, oh look, an alcohol here. Like she knows it all. Where has she got this knowledge from?
Yeah, that was a bit surprising. Yeah, it's her cocktail. But then we get a moment here, which was interesting. So Ben and Jamie have a bit of a little scrap, don't they?
They do,
Because
yeah.
they both want to
They want the action.
They want, they're something's going on there. Like is Jamie. The way Jamie looks at Polly as well, and Polly's looking after him.
Mark, I'm telling you.
That's the Jamie and Polly thing. And then Ben's...
My Jamie and Polly theme.
And then Ben
My
and
love
Jamie,
story.
Yeah. And then Ben says, actually, this is men's work. Me and Jamie are going off. Sorry, Polly.
Yeah.
Although you invented all this stuff and put it together, we're actually the ones that are going to go and do this.
Yeah.
So that is not a great moment for Ben.
No, but I
One
accept
strike for
it.
Ben.
I accept it because it's
Actually,
the
1 strike
60s.
for Ben for that and a 2nd strike for his shirt. He's got 1 more left with me. And that's it.
I didn't think the shirt was that bad. His little scrap with Jamie I'd give him rather than the shirt.
Then into episode 4. Well, let's just have a moment for the music here. Music of the Cybermen. This is the Cybermen's theme.
Is this a Cybermen's theme?
Even when I said, right, because I knew we were watching the Moonbase, when I went to get the DVD off the shelf, in my head, it started already. I just look at the DVD and it's... That has been going around my head for the last few days.
Really?
Once do you not... It's like it keeps going around. Like,
No.
once that's there, it's really annoying.
No, do you know what?
Cybermen's
I
theme.
didn't even zone it.
No?
I didn't even zone it.
Oh, okay.
Probably because I was too busy shouting he's behind you or something. So
So then we just watched episode 4 and it quickly sort of wraps up
very quickly.
very quickly. Jamie's in his polo shirt and kilt now. Just
Yeah.
a close watch moment there.
Where he got the kilt from suddenly, I don't know. But
Oh yeah.
Because-
it depends if it was on his onesie. No, in space.
you wouldn't want to
No.
wear like I wouldn't
know
want to
how
be trying to
that
wear like
Maybe
a
he
kilt.
has one folded up, ready to
Just
just to slip on.
because like he was in a onesie.
He was in his wetsuit.
Yeah, so like
Then they got into he went from wetsuit to spacesuit to a kilt on the moon.
you
And a
wouldn't be
polo
wearing
neck is in Ian and
So
Barbara's.
I'll take Ian and Barbara's wardrobe. So I'll take the jumper, but you wouldn't be wearing a kilt under the onesie.
No.
Like, where would it go?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know. I've not thought about this in so much detail before.
So,
So then, well, we have the oxygen issue,
yeah,
which has been sorted out now. Well, I don't know, a tea tray blocking that hole.
Yeah,
Suddenly all
fixes
the
it.
oxygen is fine. Lucky it's still up, otherwise we wouldn't be here right now, would we? We'll get that fixed. What? Everybody loves the immersive experience, don't you, everyone?
can you yay or nay us?
Please yay or nay.
If you're enjoying our immersive
Well, by the time we
experience.
get to this episode, we would have had a few already, so
Yeah.
we'll soon know. Anyway, that was a funny moment because he puts his jacket on to try and stop
I
the
know,
hole.
yeah.
Like, you
Block
run a
it
whole
up.
space station, you should know that is not going to be.
No, but you should know that a tray will, though.
Oh yeah, it's a good tray. They just put the graviton down
Yeah.
and whoop, off the Cybermen go.
And he says like, oh wait, I know why it can't go down. The safety thing. He literally lifts a thing up, plays with the wall with his fingers. Nothing happens. Nothing moved. When it would have been better if it like cut a wire and you saw something. But literally, he's like playing a box. Yeah, done. I was like, you've done fuck all.
Well, it is like the 10th planet again, because in the 10th planet, suddenly all the Cybermen just collapsed and that was it very quickly. And it happens again here. Off they go, done, sorted. And then the Doctor and that lot, off they go.
Yeah, sneak out. Get back in the
Get back. We have a bit of a spacewalk on the way back.
Ben is terrible at the spacewalk. The other ones do it
I
quite
didn't
well.
notice. Is
He just sort of
walking along?
walks like, but he's walking but quite slow. Whereas the other ones are more like, I don't know, bouncy.
They've got a bit of a
with-
bounce.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, his isn't great.
Maybe it's just like, I just want to get onto the TARDIS.
Just all right, we're here.
And then at the end, the time scanner is switched on.
Never had that before.
Never seen that before. Where was that with the First Doctor? That could have solved a lot of problems. And we see a claw.
Yeah. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
So there we go. That is the Moonbase, which I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I
It's
did.
like-
I thought the animation was great.
Because of the missing episodes, obviously I've seen the two that exist
Yeah.
a lot. And I've probably seen the animation one only a couple of times. But now watching it all the way through, it's really enjoyable. And I would go back to this quite a lot, actually.
Well, good for you. I didn't hate it.
Well, there we go.
I praise
there we go.
indeed.
And we kept the Polly hate to a minimum as well.
Yeah. It's Polly hate. I don't like. No, I don't.
Okay, so
I was going to say I don't hate her, but I just don't like her. I don't hate her.
So Polly and Ben are pretty much still as they were. Doctor, you still don't know that well.
I really like the Doctor actually in this.
Well, he's more active than the First Doctor would have been in the 10th Planet.
And he's just generally, I just think he's great.
It's still, I think, an
He's really
even
good.
spread between Ben, Polly, the Doctor. Now Jamie needs a little bit more action,
So-
but it's a good spread of the action with them. No one's really, obviously, forget Jamie a minute, but no, Ben and Polly aren't just put to the sidelines. They have their moments.
Yeah.
And they get the action because Ben and Jamie then do the thing with the door in episode 4. They get their moment. Polly gets a nail polish moment. And she gets the scream. And the Doctor still does his. He's not put to the
but
sideline.
the Doctor feels very much like the leader.
Oh, yeah, they all look to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, what's really nice about this is they weren't all like shut off. They were kind of all together.
We're on another, again, like the 10th Planet, you're on your base. There's nowhere
Yeah.
else to go.
But if you think of Atlantis, the week before,
Yeah,
that in
oh, yeah,
theory
I
was a base,
suppose
but they
so.
were all split off everywhere.
Yes, yeah.
This one is very, like, they are together, and it's like they get, like, I feel like there's a bond time together.
They
as
feel
well.
like a proper little gang now.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, watching these in order, I've not really noticed before. But now I'm like, yeah, actually, I really like this group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad Jamie's there.
Well, that's good. What are you hoping for him? Like,
I just like his character. I think he's...
You do like him, yeah.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
annoying, that he doesn't know a lot of stuff. Well, he still hasn't actually done that much.
No, but he doesn't. There's nothing about him that's like grated on me or annoyed me. He is sort of the better side of Ben.
Well, he's more sort of... He's
more
still
humble.
learning. That's it, yeah. Humble, sort of innocent looking around
There's
at
no
the world.
Ben and Polly, mainly Polly. They're just not humble.
No.
Like they're very Ben sometimes, and I think Ben sort of gets more swept up within Polly, if that makes sense. Actually, I think I do like Ben. Like I've always liked Ben, but Polly is very self-centered as a character and very sort of full of herself. She just is, and it just comes. That's how it comes across. So then together. Because Ben's character is very much to look out for Polly as well. That's in his character. That's been his whole thing the whole time. You know, it's very easy for him to get. Whereas Jamie, I kind of feel he's not like in that clique of, you know, meeting Polly in London and having a fancy and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a completely different thing. It's really nice and he's just a nice, strong character. But he's got like the good qualities of Ben. They're like, you know, he's brave and he's. Which, I mean, when he came on, we don't got a fucking clue.
No.
No idea what he was going to do. Not a clue.
Yeah, I think he still needs a bit more time to settle in.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, and so the next story is called The Macra Terror.
The Macra.
Macra Terror, yeah.
I thought it was the Mac of Terror.
The Mac of Terror.
So I had to just double check Macra.
The Macra Terror, yes.
I feel like that's a beetle of some sort. I'm making
Oh, the
like
claw,
a clicky
yeah.
noise, a claw.
Yeah. So it's all missing, but it's all animated.
Oh, okay.
And well, yeah, as I say, we're heading towards the end of season 4. So
I can't believe that.
getting that season 4. I mean, we're in season 4. It'll be season 5 soon.
I cannot believe it'll nearly be season 5.
Okay, well, let us know. Well, answer Sarah's question about all this online stuff.
Yeah, it's probably all past now, but let me know what was going on.
Let us know what was happening a few weeks ago. Let us know about the Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Who did better?
Neither are great.
No. And we will see you next time for the Macro Terror. Oh, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 2WatchWho and listen to us, well, wherever. Just search for your podcasts place. You know what I mean. I'm not recording that bit again. But just search for us. And we're on YouTube as well. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
2 Watch Who.